Matt Cardona tells people he isn't signing with AEW. Speaking of AEW and signings, I'm not surprised here. I don't think Cardona and Tony Khan really mesh too well.
No.
Shout out Matt Cardona, though. Shout out GCW, even though he had no problem. Tony, just kidding. It didn't. I don't know if it did, but Tony Khan reportedly believes that airing the Jack Perry CM Punk video was a key to getting AEW's TV renewal. Do you guys hear this?
Tony Khan.
Tony Khan believes that airing this Punk Perry was key. He admits this was key to getting his TV renewal, even though it was the biggest, dumbest thing they've ever done, ever. And also, he's just admitting that like airing Punk footage was key to him. CM Punk was key to him getting his goddamn TV deal still, even with him not being in the company. Are you guys following me?
Yeah.
Like these people can't help themselves but put WWE over as the superior number one. And while trying to be like, we're number two, though. And this is humiliating. And he admits this, dude. Why wouldn't he just, even if he's lying and gonna carny, why wouldn't he be like, no, I believe MJF is the reason we got a TV deal, or Will Ospreay or whatever. Instead, he's like, yeah, airing that was key to us getting this TV deal. Something we can never reproduce again, that made us look like unprofessional clowns with a guy that doesn't wrestle here but wrestles in another company that's far more popular than us right now. What the is going on here, dude?
Well, Psych 101 tells you that when you're sort of narcissistic or delusional, you take your biggest flop and you pretend it was a big win. So that, I mean, you know, that's probably that. I mean, I will say that I agree with him. I think it was key. It's key that to delaying it from signing in August into signing until October or November. So yeah, it was key in making it much more difficult to get to the finish line. I mean, he was on that 1 yard line for a long time, and nobody listens to me anymore.
On this Tony Khan, like, this is why we got a TV deal.
Yeah.
Who's telling him he has to say this stuff?
Nobody. I make my own decisions. Head of creative, CEO.
Nobody told him anything. That's the whole problem.
I mean, there are people on the interwebs that profess to be like some kind of thought leaders in the IWC or whatever. Like, and they think this guy's a good, smart, like businessman, and nobody is forcing him to put his foot in his mouth
every time he talks.
It's unparalleled.
It's failing upwards, dude. I dropped a video about that today. They just they don't know how not to fail upwards, it seems. Moving along here, AEW and ITV have agreed to an extension of their existing UK rights deal. AEW Dynamite every Friday and AEW Collision every Wednesday on ITV. Is this a W or nah?
It's a W in the sense that they didn't get dropped.
Yeah,
there it is.
If you recall, that was like a big feather in Tony's cap. One of the many hats he wears. That was a big feather in it.
Sometimes it's furry. Sometimes it's like Antonio Inoki's scarf. I tie it around my head like a do-rag. Pretend I'm Gohan.
He was so proud of, like, we're on a bigger network or bigger station than WWE. Again, where he's comparing himself to WWE. This all started with him. But so he ITV is a bigger carrier. Well, now WWE's on Netflix. So where's that rhetoric?
So John Alba says that Tony Khan believes having the Continental Classic semifinals and finals on World's End adds to the pay-per-view by adding adversity to whoever wins to overcome. So obviously it's Will Ospreay because he's bleeding and hurt right now. So that's the adversity. Way to stooge your own Tony Khan. But anyways, he goes, believes having the wrestlers face the runner-ups in the other league adds to the tourney too.
Sure.
So obscure Tony stuff. Here's the mole who responds to this guy who says, please tell me this is a fake story. And this is in response to Tony Khan believing that airing, the footage was a good idea. And the mole says it's because the real answer would make him have to face up to reality. There's a reason we got a deal, and it's not because of that. Yes, you created a moment, but a universally badly received one, and that takes some doing. Also chased off many fans. And I responded and said the real answer is the Khans are putting up their own money for this deal, and it's a better deal for WBD rather than it is AEW. And then Mole says, let's say I was a movie director and a studio hired me to make a movie. They give me a $6 million budget, which I blow through really quickly. Then I use my personal wealth to finish it, having spent $200 million equals a happy studio, big budget Hollywood blockbuster for cheap. And that's what I'm trying to tell y'all. Exactly. And I joked with them. I was like, this is why people think I'm you. For them, it's a W, because I think WBD probably owns a small chunk of it too. They have to. And he's got friends in high places. And even though people are like, well, his friends in WBD are gone, I don't believe that. I think he's knows people. And
Money makes friends.
yeah, dude. And if he's willing to spend his money to make other people money, they don't care how much he's willing to spend. And they'll even spend a little too on paper, because we know WBD does fuddy-duddy stuff with the paper, with their paperwork all the time anyways. Like
I
next
think
year,
everybody in the NFL, everyone in whatever sports league the soccer is, FIFA, whatever it is, they all have a pool, and they all gave it to WBD, and they're like, we are paying you this as extortion money to keep that idiot away from our leagues.
It's the English Premier League, is what it is.
Premier League. Well, they gave him some English Premier quid pro quo.
Regarding AEW Rampage going dark, Tony Khan says part of the WBD media deal is that AEW would focus on the 4 hours of TV between AEW Dynamite and AEW Collision.
Can I
So
talk
not
about
that,
this?
oh, we're getting rid of Rampage.
Shockwave.
It's not that, yeah, and it's not Shockwave. It's like, no, we'll focus on the 4 hours. I think the 4 hours are pretty sweet. They're great.
That extra 1 hour at the end of Dynamite was the thing that's holding them back. Ring of Honor has nothing to do with it. The 23 pay-per-views a year have nothing to do with it. Getting rid of that 60 minutes, that is going to allow him to focus properly on the other 4 hours. This makes so much sense in no world whatsoever. Maybe Meltzer can make it sense.
Hey, I have a thought on that 4 hour thing.
Yeah.
From a business standpoint. One of the reasons that I kind of think the Shockwave news was pretty much in hot air and very conflated with the fact that they were getting a thing with Mexico in Fox with Mexico.
Liar!
Warner Brothers doesn't want the AEW product diluted with a 5th hour with Rampage. Do you think they want another show of AEW on another network after they just paid a boatload of money for another 3 years? I think there's no chance AEW is even allowed under the Warner Brother deal to go shop another show. I think there's more likely Warner Brothers would shop Collision for them.
That's what I was going to say.
But like, if in fact AEW goes and gets another show elsewhere, I think that deal with Warner Brothers becomes for much less money.
Yeah.
And that's why there's some like weirdness about how much the deal is for upwards of, because upwards of means we'll pay you to not go do something stupid elsewhere.
Yeah.
And I just think that there's a lot of sense to why would they want another show on another station diluting it when the current shows are turning off viewers at the rate they are.
I would think this though, and this is again my peeling off the top theory here. I don't know if this is real or not, but it's what I harp on all the time. Let's say WBD's like, yeah, go shop this show elsewhere. We get a cut of it though, whatever they decide to give you. They're just trying to get green.
They pay less than they promised they would pay them under the current deal. Instead of 180, we'll give you 130. Go get your 50 from somebody else if you can.
Yeah.
No sweat off our back. We'll pay you less money.
Yeah, I just think they're willing to work that way as long as they can just peel a little off the top of AEW wherever they can. I think they just look at it because it's a unique thing. Pro wrestling's a unique, like, live entertainment. It's episodic, it's pay-per-views, it's live show, it's performance, all that. So, and wrestling is hot everywhere right now. Wrestling in general is hot. And then WWE's like super hot and mainstream again, getting there. It's like tipping that line of being like fully mainstream again if it isn't already. And so AEW, for them to just be the opposite. Games. Yeah, and for like them to just be the opposite of that right now, like there's value in AEW, but I just think with the people running it to them, WBD's like, well, we'll just take a little off the top. And Tony's like, I just want to do whatever I want. And as long as those two things exist, we will never see an improvement or growth, or we'll be always scratching our head asking why, because WBD's just like, we're just them, but we're just peeling a little off the top and like, oh yeah, we know Tony, he gave me tickets to a Springsteen concert or whatever. He got me tickets to Oasis or whatever. Like, I don't know. It's billionaire,
Careful. Dose and I are both Springsteen fans.
I'm not hating. Hey, I'm not hating.
By the way,
Both my
embarrassing-
parents are from New Jersey. I'm obviously a Springsteen fan.
3 Springsteen.
I'm more of a Joe Piscopo fan. No.
It is embarrassing as the biggest Springsteen fan in all of the pro wrestling space.
Wow.
It is embarrassing that Tony Khan is in the entertainment business and has not seen a Bruce Springsteen concert, because all he does is entertain, get a crowd engaged, and Tony could learn a few things.
I will say one thing about these other TV deals. I'm pretty sure that it's not as much. I'm not ruling out the WBD takes a cut of everything. I mean that's commercial landlord 101, is that you get everything for additional rent, including a cut of gross receipts calculated on a monthly basis. But I am sure that there's something in the contract that says that you can sell Rampage and Ring of Honor and any other shows you want, and either we have a right of first refusal, or that it has to be for the same proportional dollar value per hour that we're giving you, or our cost to you goes down in there. This is just a tinfoil cap going on, but it seems to me that if they wanted full exclusivity, they would have bought everything. But if they wanted it just badly enough to stop it, they could keep someone else from paying for that third hour. I mean, these shows are still going to go for 4 or 5 hours. He's still taping the Rampage time. He's still taping Ring of Honor. So he's still doing this. So I'm sure if he could sell them for $5 million a year to another network or Tubi or whatever, he would. So, and that would dilute and make WBD look stupid. And whether you think they look stupid or not right now is sort of irrelevant at the moment. But I would think that they would have something that says, if you want to sell another hour of TV, then it better be proportionate to what we're paying you for 1 hour of Collision. If you're going to sell another 2 hours of Ring of Honor, then it's got to be proportionate to what we're paying you for Collision, or maybe the aggregate of Collision and Dynamite, or something like that protects them.
Not just being money mark for wrestlers, Tony is now a mark for entertainment biz. With bought friends like this, who needs enemies? Is AEW a Ponzi scheme? I don't know if it's like a Ponzi scheme, but I mean,
it's not what a Ponzi scheme is.
The best guy is Tony Khan.
Yeah, exactly. But
somebody makes money in a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah, it's just, I don't want to even be like it's laundry, whatever. It's just friends helping friends, and
it's a billionaire's private business.
Yeah, dude, exactly.
That, right? So
there's kookier shit. Exactly. Yeah, if you peel it back, there's billionaires out there doing kookier than Tony Khan. They're just not carny TV whores who want to be on TV doing creative. They're doing way kookier than these billions and billions of dollar deal vanity, hundreds of millions of dollars. Just you don't hear about them because it's not in the entertainment biz. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's why it's so kooky.
I would reject wholeheartedly. AEW is not a Ponzi scheme. That is a terrible thing to say AEW is. However, I would point to a company called FTX. Look it up on your own time. And I would say that FTX's biggest flaw was that its founder, and it's the JP Morgan of crypto, as he was called by those industry experts on bad media channels. Altruism in business doesn't work. So therefore, what Tony's doing to be altruistic in pro wrestling by creating so many jobs and paying everyone so much money, and
that's great.
Savior of pro wrestling, like that has a history of collapsing in very, very bad ways. And
but Inoki gave me a scarf. Ichi Nissan now.
He probably paid Inoki like $1 million for that scarf.
I know, dude. That's what I think. I think he paid their family to do that. X-Files, I don't actually know for sure. Sorry, go ahead.
I echo that X-Files.
Purely speculation, but I'm just saying. MJ, I saw Bruce in Buffalo, New York in 1983.
Look, Bruce Springsteen's an entertainer. And there's a reason I said what I said about being the biggest Bruce Springsteen fan.
Explain it.
The man of many outlets, somebody you have cited already on this show, also is a big Bruce Springsteen fan. And there he is. There he is.
John Elba.
Big Bruce Springsteen fan, but I'm not the kind of fan that records myself singing the same song at a lot of shows. I like to enjoy the shows. I'm not there for my audience to see that I'm there.
Yeah, anybody records themselves. Look, as somebody who got married at a music festival, if you record yourself at a show, you're an asshole.
Well, if you do it at the same point of the same song every time, like it made for a cute video, but like, why don't you just thank your subscribers for paying for tickets?
Unless it's my wife doing it, and then she's super hot.
I have real beef with John Alba. I wish that guy had the chutzpah to debate or to discuss what we disagreed upon. He's not a piece of, but he's so full of his own that it's not surprising he has a hard time.
Pompous, dude. He is
being successful in the media industry.
Yeah. That's the best word I use.
Yeah, he says he got laid off. No, you got fired, dude. Laid off.
Yeah, I know. I don't want to get. I covered that on the show, but yeah, that was so ironic. But whatever. I'm not. It's Christmas. It's 2025. Yeah. So John Alba though goes. Tony Khan says one of the biggest metrics for AEW success is the opportunity they have ahead with moving to streaming. Noted how wrestling is heading in that direction. Not a metric
of success. That's an opportunity.
Yeah.
Sorry, I couldn't even contain that one. It's so laughable.
I know.
Terrible.
I have the potential to be a billionaire. I'm successful. I'm billion. Like it's the same thing, right? They have ahead with moving to streaming. Noted how wrestling is heading in that direction, and they are there. Also, very happy about the strong Collision rating this week. So it's the direction wrestling's heading in.
He's very tired about the strong Collision rating. It was a football game that led in with 8.4 million people, and sports bars, hotel lounges, and restaurants waited 5, 10, 15 minutes before the customers got the bartender's attention to change the channel until they got to the manager and figured out how to use the 17 remote controls to change the channels. It dropped to 235,000 by the last quarter.
Yeah. Similar to Dose, like when people know you're a wrestling fan, they just always like anything wrestling, they hit you up. And I've been out at places in Manhattan where that has happened, that like whatever it is, Rampage comes on after a basketball game, and people are like, "Oh, look, MJ, Rampage is on." Like wrestling, look, wrestling, and I'm just like, "Yeah, 5, 4, 3, 2, boom, remote click." It's awesome.
Or I'm the asshole who's like, "Can you put SmackDown on, please?"
I will say there were some girls who thought Hook was really good looking and were disappointed when they turned him off. But that's just.
I thought you were going to say they were disappointed when they gave him a mic.
No, I mean it was early in the Send Hook days, and then they abandoned Send Hook.
I demand less from your more Alt-J.
He was.
I'm a funny Jew. That's Mel Brooks is my all-time hero. That's who I am as a person.
Yeah, I love Mel Brooks.
Hook was so perfect for the TikTok like boom.
Yes,
they did nothing with it.
Yeah.
I remember getting laughed at by certain podcasters from Canada for like suggesting that they should go all the way with Hook, get him onto magazines. Like this dude looks like a TikTok star.
Hey, now, I never laughed at you. No, I'm just.
Well, remember when people were comparing Hook and Dom, like at the time when at that point, and people were like, "No, Hook's going to be better. Hook's going to be a bigger star." Look at them now.
What are we doing?
Yeah, it's terrible.
Speaking of what are we doing, the baby faces, the Undisputed Era from WWE are back together, and they put on the diamond ring and then knocked out MJF with it, and now the crowd's booing them, and they're supposed to be the baby faces because MJF
who won the match.
MJF he cheated to win. He leaves with the ring, so then they jump Cole, they beat him, or pardon me, MJF. Cole punches him with the diamond ring, and then the crowd boos the Undisputed Era as they're all hugging in the ring. And
by the way, still undefeated.
Is this a gimmick now where MJF wins his pay-per-view matches but gets beat up afterwards so that you're supposed to forget he won 5 minutes later?
Yeah, man, I think so. And like, I just can't get over that they got booed and they're all hugging like, yeah, we're back together. The band's back together type they're trying to do with Undisputed Era. And they're getting booed because Adam Cole hit him. And Adam Cole's hurt again. He's limping for real. It looks like he's for real. Oh, my God.
Undisputed Era, Jesus Christ. Business. How many of these stables are? I know AEW loves its stables, but I didn't know they loved them enough to just rip off WWE stuff.
Oh my God, he's really limping to the back. Is Adam Cole hurt again, guys? Oh my God, I can't.
I'm not watching, but I'm going to go with yes.
Oh my God,
it would not be funny.
Oh my God, he's for real limping, and he's trying to play it off like he's not hurt. And if he's selling, bravo, he's doing a great job. But that he looks like he's trying not to look like he's limping. Do you know what I mean?
Why would he sell a limp? That wasn't part of the story.
Oh my God! If he's hurt again, and they were talking to him as he was getting out of the ring, and he looked back and he's like, "No, I'm okay." If you guys go back and watch it, like Bennett was asking him, like, "Do you need help or something?" or Taven or whatever, as Cole was getting out of the ring because he dropped to the ground and rolled out, and then he's like, "No, I'm okay." He was looking back, saying something. Then he limped all the way up to the tunnel. They tried to help carry him, like under his arms, and he was like, "Nah." And he kept kind of walking. So if he's working, fantastic job. But it looked like he was trying not to limp the same way it looked when he shattered his foot and was trying not to limp. It looks the same way, dude.
This time I said this whole devil thing is snake bit. Just end it, pull the Band-Aid off and be done with it and never look back. Instead, they decided to replay it. And here we go. The snake is bit again.
Sorry. Go ahead.
No, just Adam Cole is snake bit. Like, I'm not rooting for an injury, but like no one is protecting Adam Cole from Adam Cole between this serious concussion stuff and this ankle. Like, when is somebody going to protect him from himself?
Dude, someone just said, Juan Salazar said he should just retire if he's hurt again, which is vicious. I hope he's okay. Man, why? Why do they keep doing this?
He'd be a great manager.
I am passionate about this topic because I don't necessarily enjoy watching AEW when I feel like I'm watching guys who are risking actual health. And you can go through the list of Danielson, Shibata, Christian, Edge, like who else? Paige, or what's her name? Saraya when she came back. Like, you can go through the list of people we know have been seriously injured, and I really don't want to watch them have matches where I'm like, oh, are they actually really hurt again? Like, that should not be going through my head as a consumer and a fan of pro wrestling.
Well, speaking of really hurt, let's all hurt our brains by watching this throwback to Tony Khan hitting Stone Cold Stunners.
This is ugly.
And then Aubrey galloping. Trotting. Whatever she's doing, right? And look at her, like, doing the trot, like hurdling. She seems to be like hurdling, like maybe a jockey was like. Anyways, I'm an asshole. I know. Aubrey saw a rabbit or something. I don't know. Yeah, there you go, folks.
Remember when people didn't hate him in the crowd?
That's a legendary clip. I got to hang on to that one. So Vince Russo has leaked private information about which top AEW wrestlers have shared. Okay, which top AEW wrestlers have shared with him about Tony Khan. So Russo says, bro, I've heard enough from guys on top of AEW. Bro, let me tell you, bro, behind these marks, bro, let me tell you, I've heard from guys on top of AEW, bro, where with Tony Khan in brackets, bro, it's basically just go out there and do whatever you want. You got to have some kind of control, and in order to put out the type of product that you want, bro. So you really got to find that happy medium, bro, Russo said via Wrestling Outlaws. So, I don't know. Nothing we didn't know before.
Right? Thanks for that breaking news.
AEW is selling a replica of the AEW Dynamite Diamond Ring that we just saw MJF retain and Adam Cole bounce off of his head, and the current price is $150 for this ring. Great. Would any of y'all pay $150 for this ring?
Why is Dynamite upside down on the top? Look at Dynamite at the top of it. Dynamite's upside down. What is terrible?
Are you serious?
Yeah, look at it. Diamond is on the bottom. Yeah, Dynamite on the top. Yeah, that's definitely an E at the start.
Oh my God, dude, the Dynamite's upside down. Is that is that standard for rings?
Well, I don't know that it's upside down because, I mean, when you look at it from either side, it's right side up.
No, because listen,
ring I've ever seen. I don't know. Every championship ring I've ever seen goes.
No. Dose, I got to challenge you on that because if you look at it from the other way, the All Elite Wrestling logo's upside down.
And so
if you look at Dynamite, the right side up. It's supposed to say Dynamite Diamond. They wrote the Dynamite upside down on the replica ring. Is that how the real one looks?
I'm sure that's just an
if you wore it in a picture like the Rock and Roll Express, it's upside down.
Nice.
It's okay. Wait. It's okay. I'll use my new iPhone and we'll just put a black dot over that part.
I would pay $149.99 for a Fiend championship belt.
I wonder if it's gold plated or something. Why is it that expensive? Looks like something you'd get at Spirit Halloween for a princess costume. All right, round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for AEW news. That was our AEW news segment.
Always funny.